Hey there, it's CJ Willie, and I'm back with another Magic the Gathering opening experience. I have in front of me a 2014 core set intro pack. So what is a Magic the Gathering intro pack? It was a product that was catered toward newer players. Inside the intro pack there would be a pre-made 60 card constructed deck and 2 booster packs that you could open and then take those cards and potentially add in with the intro pack. The decks in the intro pack were not very strong. In fact, they weren't very competitive. They only had a couple of rares, and most of the other cards in the pre-made deck were commons and uncommons. So you really had to work at opening other packs to beef up the deck. This one is the Psychic Labyrinth intro pack. It's going to be a white-blue deck, Azorius colors, which are my favorite colors to play in Magic. I'm going to go ahead and crack open this intro pack and take a look at the contents. And I learned early on that you open them from the bottom. It's much easier to get to the contents than trying to open it from the top. Slide this out. Inside this little dill you had your intro deck and then a bunch of other things, including the packs. I'm going to open these packs in different videos sometime this upcoming week, so I'll set those off to the side right here. These inserts were pretty cool. One of the inserts would give a basic description of how to play the game. See if I can open it without tearing the fold out. So you get a description of you're a planeswalker, and what does that mean? Chandra was the central advertising piece of the core set 2014. And then on the back, each expansion had 5 different intro packs. In the core set era, they would be based on the colors of Magic: white, blue, black, red, and green. Lightforce, which I've opened up on this channel, was a white-green deck. Today I'll be opening up Psychic Labyrinth, which is a white-blue deck. Death Reaper was black and red. Fire Surge was blue and red, and then Bestial Strength, which I have opened on the channel as well, was a green-black deck. Alright, set that off to the side. The other piece that came in the intro packs was a fold out. I'm going to try to open it up really carefully again. And this one was the how to play the game of Magic the Gathering. So a little bit of description of products you could purchase, the different colors of Magic, a battlefield scene with steps and phases and what you did with the cards. The other side gave you information on how to get started, what to do in your first game, casting spells, the steps and sequences of the game, and then a really handy glossary of terms that I found very useful when I started playing. Alright, like I said, today I'm going to just open up the deck and go over the contents. I'll do shorts of opening up the 2 2014 core set booster packs. Probably have those come later on in the week. Usually I have those videos drop on Fridays and Saturdays. Alright. Each intro pack had a foil version of one of the rares. Jace's Mindseeker, 6 mana, 4 and 2 blue, 4/4 Fish Illusion, has flying. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent puts the top 5 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. You may cast an instant or sorcery card from among them without paying its mana cost. For the rares, I'll be putting the value right here. There are only 2 rares. On occasion, there's a common or uncommon in these intro packs that has some value. If it's over $1, I'll put that value there as well. I don't believe this intro deck has any value aside from the two rares. Alright, Coral Merfolk. Gonna get a couple of those. Oh, 3 of those. 2 mana, 2/1 with no abilities, which is pretty typical with the intro decks. You'd get quite a few commons that didn't have much in the way of power or oomph. Seacoast Drake, 2 mana, 1/3 flyer. So probably a couple of those. Scroll Thief, 3 mana, 1/3. When it deals combat damage, you can draw a card. A couple of those. First uncommon out of this intro deck is a Warden of Evos Isle, 3 mana, 2/2 flyer. Creature spells with flying cost 1 less to cast. It's not too bad of a card, especially in a blue-white flyers deck, which is the type of deck I like to play. So a couple of those. And then onto the white part of the deck, it looks like. Master of Diversion, 3 mana, 2/2. Whenever it attacks, I can tap a creature my opponent controls. So it helps my creatures have a little bit of evasion. So another one of those. Here's the other rare in the intro pack, and I completely forgot that it was going to be Clone. Clone harkens all the way back to the very first expansion, Alpha. Clone historically was an uncommon, and there was a couple of sets where it was printed at rare. So both the rares in this intro deck are a little underwhelming. Set that right there. Archaeomancer, 4 mana, 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, I can return an instant or sorcery from the graveyard to my hand. Okay. Set that in the blue pile. Water Servant is an uncommon, 4 mana, 3/4. I can pay an island to give it +1, -1, or I can pay an island to give it -1, +1. Air Servant, 5 mana, 4/3. It's a flyer. I can pay 3 mana and tap a target creature with flying. So get my flyers through if my opponent happens to have flyers or creatures with reach. So a couple of those Air Servants. Messenger Drake, 5 mana, 3/3. When it dies, I draw a card. 5 mana, 3/3 flyer isn't great, and I hope it doesn't die because that may be one of my win conditions. Stonehorn Chanter, 6 mana, 4/4. I can pay 6 mana, and it gains Vigilance and Lifelink until end of turn. Yikes, that's quite a steep mana investment. So a couple of those. And then gonna get a whole bunch of lands. Typically, the intro decks had around 25 to 26 lands. Let's see how many we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 island. How many planes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 planes. So 25 basic lands in this intro deck. Slide those up a little bit. This part of the intro deck is going to mainly be spells, instants, sorceries, enchantments, artifacts. Show of Valor. Target creature gets +2/+4 until end of turn for 2 mana. So a couple of those. No, 3 of those. Oh, that's great. Staff of the Mind Magus. 3 generic mana. Whenever I cast a blue spell or an island enters the battlefield, I gain a life. I believe there's a cycle of these Magus in Core Set 2014, 1 for each color. Divination, good old Divination. 3 mana, draw 2 cards, sorcery. This is a great card for quite a while. Now it's been outclassed. You can get this at instant speed for certain conditions. For 2 mana or even 1 mana, you can get 2 cards. Frost Breath. This is a card I really enjoyed. Back in the day, in my first intro deck I ever bought, it had a couple of these Frost Breath. I thought card was just awesome. A couple of Frost Breath. Glimpse the Future, 3 mana sorcery. I can look at the top 3 cards in my library, put 1 in my hand and the rest in the graveyard. Solemn Offering. Destroy target artifact or enchantment and I gain 4 life for 3 mana. Claustrophobia. This is a great card. I remember this from, I believe, the Innistrad block. 3 mana, enchant creature. When it enters, I tap enchanted creature, and it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So a couple of the claustrophobias. 3 of them. Wow. Really controlling. Rod of Ruin, 4 mana. 3 mana, tap it. It deals 1 damage to target creature or player. That harkens back to, I think, Alpha. Not that great of a card in my opinion. Illusionary Armor, 5 mana, enchantment aura. Enchanted creature gets +4/+4. When it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. On the face value, that seems like a great deal. 5 mana for +4/+4 on a creature. Illusionary Armor is so fragile, so many ways that it'll fall off. And then the final card is going to be a second Illusionary Armor. Yay! Alright, this is definitely a white-blue deck that has some controlling features, a little bit light on creatures, really seeks to take the game long and then win it toward the end. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and share. Tell me in the comment section what you think of the contents from this Core Set 2014 intro pack. Till next time when I'm back with another Magic the Gathering opening experience.